We're going to have a great chat here. If you guys disagree, come to the front of the line. It's an open mic for a couple hours, and it's really nice being near your cathedral here, by the way. I got to tell you, the cathedral of college football is pretty great. So honored to be here, guys. We're going to win Georgia, large in part thanks to you. And I know you guys might see that pathetic Harris Walls table there. This is a MAGA campus here, everybody. All right, let's get started, everybody.
Hi, so my question is regarding the mass deportation that Donald Trump is trying to enforce if he is elected as president. And my question is, do you think this mass deportation is fair, and if you do, why?
Yes, of course, I do. And it's first and foremost, we'll start with the people that committed crimes while they're here, DUIs, murders, rapes, so on and so forth. So let me give you one very simple example that is emotional, but it is personal, and it is local. The killer of Laken Riley should be deported and should be put in a foreign prison, not an American prison. Now, I will admit, not everyone who's coming in here illegally is like the killer of Laken Riley, of course, but that is a very personal example of a UGA student that was just, you guys know the situation, okay? And to be very clear, if Donald Trump was president, Laken Riley would be alive today. That was an unnecessary killing that was completely because of open border policy. But if your first act into a country is to break a country's laws, of which illegal immigration is and the illegal people coming in the country are, then we have every right to repel them and to send them back to their country of origin.
Do you think this mass deportation will negatively affect the U.S. economy?
I actually think it will positively affect the U.S. economy. I think that what it will do is, number one, you guys will have less people to compete for housing prices. So one of the reasons why housing is going up is because in supply and demand, if you have 10 million new people, they have to live somewhere. And when you have to live somewhere, then all of a sudden you have more people going after a finite good. Simple law of supply and demand. This is why sand is cheap and diamonds are expensive, is because when you have a surplus of something or a finite supply of something, prices will go up, or if you have a surplus, prices will go down. So I think housing prices will stabilize as part of that. There probably will be some speed bumps on the road in manual labor, but honestly what you'll see then is wages will go up, and wages will go up for American workers. And do you know who, specifically the population that will be benefited by this is working class voters of all races, but specifically Latino and Black Americans that work with their hands that currently are having their wages undercut by individuals that break the law, come to the southern border, and then destabilize their working wage.
Well, I disagree because if you don't already know, illegal immigrants make up 20% of the labor force in the United States, and they pay over $100 billion in taxes, but they receive almost no benefits from the taxes that they pay from. So I believe the wages won't necessarily go up. If anything, they'll probably go down because people are now fighting for more degree-based.
Yeah, so first of all, I don't expect you to know this, but they, of course, do receive benefits. For example, they show up at a hospital, they'll receive care. They receive police support. They go to local schools. Right, so they send their kids to local social services. Additionally, they get money from the federal government as well, food stamp assistance, Medicaid, so on and so forth, that has now been expanded to even illegal immigrants. So that's not totally true. Secondly, though, they're still here on our terms. So we just might have a difference of how a country should be constituted. One of the reasons I support Trump is that a fundamental premise of how a country should exist is that the citizen should be able to determine who comes in their country, and that we actually have a say in elections of whether or not it's too much, too little, not enough, or whatever it is. It's obviously too much right now. It's unsustainable. It is then making our lives worse. And I'm not saying this is just because of illegal migration, but it's partially everybody in this audience right now. You are the first generation since George Washington to have life worse off than your parents. You're the most depressed, sick, anxious, medicated, alcohol addicted, and poor generation per capita in modern American history. And just a very simple rule, and again, this ties into illegal immigration, but not specifically, is that if you are getting routinely poorer year over year, you should fire your leaders and put leaders back in charge that we're actually making life better and we're getting richer and be able to own homes. So yes, and then finally, I'll just say this. Of course, they contribute to some jobs in the economy, but that's not the point. The point is that those should go to Native American jobs, or even Native Americans too, but American-born jobs, not illegal migrant labor that cut in line and then basically said to the entire immigration system, so bad, it's too bad. Who here is a first-generation immigrant or a son or daughter of? So can I ask you a question? Did your parents come here the right way?
Yes.
Okay. No, this is important. So your parents came the right way, and your parents should be applauded for following the rules and coming here the right way. Do you know who it's an insult to? Your parents, that other people can just cut in line and border jump into our country and basically tell your parents, oh, sorry that you filled out all the paperwork and you waited in line, we can just then do an act of injustice. So I'm actually on your parents' side here. I want more people to follow the law and come in here legally. I do not want a mass illegal immigration invasion of the country. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
I have one
Yeah, sure.
relating to immigration as well. Do you think through this mass deportation that Donald Trump is trying to enforce, do you think it is fair that he wants to deport back all the Venezuelan people who just came from Venezuela? And I understand the news has made this prejudice that Venezuelans are criminals, they're killers. I absolutely understand. I agree for the young girl that was killed here. But people do not realize how bad the safety and economic state in Venezuela is right now. They just reelected Nicolas Maduro, and he is one of the worst presidents in Latin American history.
Yeah, again, so in order for them to come, they'd have to come the right and legal way. Now, the Venezuelans, some have actually applied for asylum and were granted asylum through legal methods. That's a separate discussion. I think we're too generous in that way. Others decide to just enter through the southern border. Here's the thing. You have to return to your country of origin, and then we can get our own house together. And let me just kind of put this differently. We can open up our arms again once our young people, you guys, can own homes and have a life as good as your parents. Then we can start thinking about letting in all the other world's problems. Until then, we have an obligation to fulfill the mandate so that you guys can have the same life and access to the American dream that your parents had.
Right,
Thank you very much. Hey, everybody, remember to subscribe right down here to get all of our latest breaking news and campus debates, and share these videos with a voter who is on the fence. Check out the Charlie Kirk Show podcast and like this video, and then also put a comment down there that might trigger the libs. These videos are going super viral, millions and millions and millions and millions of views. So don't forget to check it out on my other social media platforms and hit a comment right now and subscribe. This channel might save the country thanks to you guys. Thanks so much.
Charlie, throw up the phone. Charlie. You're not going to get it.